Hi guys, this is Dan with Albot Novus. I'd like to welcome you today to a quick tutorial on creating brushes in Photoshop and then using them in ArtRage and creating realistic brushes, realistic terrain brushes in Photoshop and putting them into ArtRage. First off, the reason I'm doing this is twofold. One, to show you how to do stuff. The next, I'm kind of selling out. I'm going to start selling some of the assets I use for my big productions. This is the first bit. These are 408 brushes that I made, realistic terrain brushes that I make in Zbrush, and then I create the alpha and I put it into something else and make some terrain. Now, there is a little bit of disconnect with ArtRage and with Photoshop. Sometimes ArtRage really doesn't like you trying to create custom, import brushes from Photoshop. There has to be a certain settings, and that's what I'm going through today. The exact setting you need to create brushes to be imported into ArtRage. Okay, first things first. Let's go ahead and make a new folder. I found these settings are the best way to do this. First off, it's going to be a width of 400, height of 400, so nice square. Resolution is going to go down to 250, okay, pixels per inch. The color mode has to be RGB color. Can't be any of these. It has to be 8-bit, okay. White background. The biggest and most important thing, the working profile has to be working RGB. Standard IEC 61966-21. Okay, that is critical. If it's not there, you're going to have a bad time. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll create our first patch here. Now, with any type of brushes, I've already got some, so I'm just going to go in here, just grab a general whatever brush, and we're going to play with it a little. Let's decrease the size quite a bit. So our brushes are based on an alpha channel, or a channel that represents that black is the lowest and white is the highest. So in this case, reverse that. The black on here is going to be our brush, okay? And the white is going to be the alpha that it's not part of the brush. So if we're going to draw something or make a brush, we have to do it in blacks. So let's say this is going to be the brush that I use. Okay, so I have my brush now. Just really quick, let's put a smiley face there because I can. And we're going to take this brush and we're going to tell Photoshop that we're going to set this as a preset. So we set this as a preset. We're going to give it a name like that. And then after we hit edit, again, to do that, edit, define brush preset. If you do it any other way, it doesn't work. So edit brush preset, then go into the brush pattern here. Usually this is a lot smaller. It's like that. Then you click on this little tiny gear right here. Wave at the gear. Hello. We click new brush preset. Okay, before we hit new brush preset, it goes up. Right now, you see right here how it has, that's it. Once we hit, let's do that again. Define brush preset. Let's call this happy. Okay, and then we click on our brush. You can see it right there. Let's show names. See, it's right there. Notice that these brushes here have this little brush symbol. Okay, this one currently doesn't. It has to have this brush symbol in order for it to be exported. So to do that, we click on the brush preset we just make. We come up here to our little gear, okay? And we click on new brush preset. But here's the catch. The size cannot be over 2000, okay? So if my size of this is 2000, ArtRage is not going to be able to import it. So I usually keep mine, let's just go 1000 on this one. Again, and then once we have it, here's our happy brush. We're going to hit new brush preset. We're going to capture the size and capture the settings. If either of these aren't checked, it doesn't work. So we're going to call this happy. We're going to hit OK, and look, we now have the happy brush. The icon tells it's ready to go. Now we don't need these two brushes, so we can just do this. Okay, happy. We click on our brush. We go to the gear again, and we put export selected brushes. We go to the desktop, and I'm going to put it happy brush. Okay, it turns it into a ABR file. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Let's now open ZBrush. I'm going to create a new painting here. Excuse me, not ZBrush, but ArtRage. Again, it's early. I couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd just do this because it makes me happy. And we are going to, anytime we import an alpha or import something into ArtRage, we initially need to do it through this tool right here. Okay, this is our yield art brushes presets. Okay, sticker sprays, excuse me. So I'm going to choose one again. I've created a ton of different ones, so these are my settings. So to import it, we first of all, let's go from start. We're going to go new add group. We're going to take the name of our group in ArtRage. And again, if nothing's open, we just go to this settings, presets, go to preset, click the menu folder, add group, name the group. We're in the happy group now. Then I'm going to input Photoshop brush. Okay, and that's it right there, happy brush. If it's done correctly, you should get this. You should see it. We just put it in and, oops, we select it. There we go. See, happy brushes. So happy. It remembers the color, well, color and stuff like that. All right, so that's how you add a brush to Photoshop. Let's screw things up so you can see what happens. So let's say I take this guy and I really jack it up. It's like 5,000. Let's put the mode here to 16-bit, and we're going to come over here and we're going to say edit, and we're define brush preset. I'm going to say not happy. Okay. And let's go ahead and not happy's there. Let's make it brush preset. We'll go not happy 1 because I don't care about the name. Oh, actually I messed that up. I'm going to make 5,000. Yeah, there we go. I mean, this thing's just freaking huge. Okay. So then we click the brush. We're going to go new brush preset. Just capture everything there. I made it again just so it retains that settings. Then we're going to export this to the desktop again. Call it not happy. Okay, come in here. We're going to try to import it. And not happy. Oh, there's the error message. Okay. It has to be on those settings it has to be that default setting in Photoshop. Again, those are, let me fix this. Image mode, go back to mode 8-bit. Excellent. All right, so again, we're going to, here's our setting again. Let's just close this, not save it. File new. Square is good. Resolution 250. Anything higher than that, it gets a little weird. RGB. That color profile. Square pixels we create. Oops. Still have that nasty brush still selected. Okay. And we're just going to make a simple alpha here. Just using the mouse because I can. This guy's super happy. Okay. Then once we have that, we go to edit, define brush preset. Then call it happy again. See, now it's there. Then we're going to, now notice, again, we're here. There's no brush symbol, so we need to make that brush symbol. New brush preset. We'll make sure that happy again. And again, the size of it, you can see it right there. is, right now it's 890. Again, anything over 2000, ArtRage is not going to like. We select a brush, we export a brush, and I'm just gonna, do something like this because I don't care. Okay, we're in here, input Photoshop brush, this long one, boom, works every single time. I'll select it and look, ta-da, yay, woo. Okay. If you go to the ArtRage folders, you will find hundreds of posts asking about this error message that comes up. The answer to that error message is you have to have your brush, again, 8-bit, that color model, less than 2000. It has to be that way, otherwise it won't go into ArtRage. Let's take this a step further, okay? No, we don't want to keep you because we don't like you. All right, so what I'm going to do here is, these are alphas that I've made. Let's just go to mountains. And actually, let's start from scratch. Again, 44250, there's my settings. And I'm going to open, let's find a really fun one. Let's do this. Okay, this is the alpha that I made. Going to Control A, Control C, go into my there. Oops. Control V. I'm going to have to resize this to the 4 inches because the alpha that I did make is absolutely huge. Okay, so we're going to resize this. Zoom in on here. All right. Get it centered. All right, hit yes, we want to do that. Okay. Now, if I was making a brush out of this, it'd be fine, but you'd just get the black as the brush head and the white as a transparency. We don't want that. So we click on our alpha layer, hit Control I. Okay. And now we just have a black, again, transparency's there. We just have the black where we want creating the head of the brush. We go ahead and click on the layer, go to Edit, Define Brush Preset. Hit OK. Then we go down, we click on the Test on Stream brush, new brush preset. Let's go Test on Stream 1. Make sure it's not over 2000. We're still in 8-bit. Everything's there. We hit OK. We go back here. We click on the brush, not this one, but this one. Export selected brush. There we go, desktop on there. Save that. Let's go ahead and we're just going to create. Go away. Thank you. We're going to import our brush now. These are going to be a little bit distorted for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. But there we have our new brushes. Now, if you notice, these are really small for this painting. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back into Photoshop, and we're actually going to increase the size of this. We're going to increase that to 1500. Okay, so significantly bigger. We like that. So now we're going to do the same thing again. Edit, Define Brush Preset, and we're going to go Test on Stream 2. Actually, then we're going to, now I wanted this bigger, so I went in, because when you start, if we go to, excuse me, if we go to Define Brush Preset, it is going to remain that 800 pixels, as you can see. We kind of don't want that, so that preset's at 822. So before we create the brush, we're going to put this to 1500. And once it's at 1500, we're going to hit New Brush Preset and make sure these are clicked. Capture brush size, include tool setting. Okay, so it's going to be bigger. There's the one we want right there, so we're now going to export that. We're going to go to ArtRage, and put Photoshop brushes, test on string 2. Every single time, and it's not apparently the alpha. Yeah, that's 100. Okay, it is there. Go under 500. Again, the size of this painting. You know, we're looking at like 36 inches by 24 inches, so pretty freaking big. But again, now I can use this brush. Okay, let's take this another step further. We're going to close this one. Don't save. Now we're going to go onto a map we've been working with, and if you can see, I've kind of added some, played with this. This is the usual technique I do, but let's go ahead and let's say I wanted something really special here. Let's say I have an island over here that I want just to be, you know, volcanic as all get out. So what I'm going to do is, I've already made some brushes, quite a bit of brushes, and I want this to be, go here. I want this to kind of be a volcanic island. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. I'm not going to have the transparency on. I'm going to select the brush I want, which is this guy here. I'm going to make it red so I can see it. And I'm just going to apply it. Maybe adjust the size a little. 50, let's go about 125. Right there. And let's say I want another one right there. And if it goes over, that's fine. That is exactly what we want it to do. Maybe I'll have something like right. Ooh, that's cool. Like right there. Ooh, here's a fun one. This is like an explodey one. And just play with it. Okay, so we have these two. I've added the terrain. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this unlocked, go down here to the base level, unlock it, and I'm going to turn off anything that's overlapping. I select my base layer. This is going to take a while since this is gigantic. Select everything, and you'll notice the transparency is selected. Go back up to this layer, click on this layer, hit delete, gets rid of the sides. Okay. Now what we want to do here is we want to go back to our layer with the mountains on it. It's currently red. We lock that transparency. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is add mask to this layer. To do that, we go to bump modes. So we right click on that, go down to bump blend modes, hit add. Let's give it a good color. I usually work with grays until I start adding color, but in this case, we're just going to add it. Maybe let's see. There, let's just do that. And again, I chose my color, and now I can just add mask to this through the glitter tool. If I use a lot of masks, it's going to kind of look a little thumpy. So I'm not going to go too much. I'm just really quick going to put that in there. We're still locked onto the transparency. Then we're going to go to our blur. Not harsh chaos this time, but blur. Pressure we're going to put down quite a bit, and softness we're going to put down. Let's go about 200 on this. And as I pass my blur over it, you can start seeing that we have a high definition, realistic texture on our map there. Okay, why is that a big deal? Well, the usual way I have done this in the past, let me show you something really quick. Okay, down here we have this big old mountain range. Because on my my airbrush I have pressure, it's going to push down, see that? some of the paint. And I honestly like that. If you want to avoid it, if you want like it to add more paint, just push down and bring it up. So now we have realistic mountain ranges. Okay. And then I can go in and do the same thing throughout here. Same thing's true on Photoshop. There's I'll link a very good tutorial video on how you can use these type of brushes in Photoshop. This is how I do it in ArtRage. And again, I will put some free brushes online just on the Avant Novus website, just for you to have. Maybe, I don't know, 10, 15. And also link when I sell the, the 400 or 500. All right. My name is Dan, and this has been kind of an Avant Novus live stream. We'll put this up as soon as possible. Facebook is no longer using a streaming service, so I have to upload these manually. And we'll just go from there. Thank you so much for dropping by. Please help us out. Like, subscribe, pass this link to anybody. The price is only going to be, well, very cheap. High quality, but very cheap. Okay, thanks.